Well, we have once again been moved into position, having overshot the stop for the second consecutive time. But the good news is the rain has stopped. It's still overcast, so it could come back. But yeah, for now it hasn't. Let's let the passengers on board, although if they saw this train coming into the station and if they knew anything about what it was like at the previous station, I don't think they would want to be coming anywhere near it. So yeah, for some reason the front carriages didn't open, but the rest all did. And as soon as yeah, those passengers are all on, we have another magnificent Intercity 125 coming in. Right, doors are all shut. Let's get back underway. So, lack of rain means no wheel slip. And if you saw the yeah, how things went at the end of the previous section just prior to this stop, you may have seen me trying to find the sander for this particular train. Well, I have since found out that the reason why I couldn't find it is because this train does not have one, which is a bit ridiculous, but it would appear they have so much confidence in their anti-wheel slip protection that they didn't bother fitting a sander to this train, which would be fine if the anti-wheel slip protection worked, but as well, I certainly found out, and as you may well have noticed from watching, no it doesn't. It's hopeless. And well, it is a good job that the rain has stopped here, as we are passing a I'm not actually sure what that was that we passed. 47, okay. And there's a Deltic over there. And that completely threw me off what I was saying. Oh well, it can't have been that important. So yeah, this section of the East Coast Main Line, it's one of the shorter sections. It's just shy of 80 miles from here to our next stop, which is Newcastle. But it's also, as you may notice, not electrified, which, to be honest, there's really no reason for that. The whole of the East Coast Main Line is now electrified, and I don't know when this was set, but it would have to be set no later than, you know, the late 80s for it to make sense, you know, to not be electrified. It's also probably the slowest section of the East Coast Main Line. You can see we do have a 125 section coming up in just shy or just over half a mile. But that 125 mph section doesn't last very long, and it's the only part of this section until, you know, we leave Newcastle, let alone until we reach it, that actually is at 125 mph. Okay, they were two 37s. I thought one of them might have been a 55, but nope. Right, so we're in the 125 zone. Let's take advantage of it while we can. But yeah, at the last part there, while we were leaving, was it Peterborough? There's no way I could have just put it straight in a notch 4 like this, and then wheel slipping like mad. And the wheel slip protection on this thing is, I won't go so far as to say it's non-existent, but I mean it is so awful that I dread to think what it was like if it didn't have any wheel slip protection at all. But it really does not do very much. And it's by far the biggest problem with this train, because it means that trying to brake in the wet is, well, ridiculous. I mean, that last stop, I think we've got another Intercity 125 coming up. But yeah, that last stop, I started braking for York Station when we were still 1 3/4 miles away from it, and we still completely overshot the station. It's not like the front of the train overshot it, no, the entire train overshot it. But I couldn't brake any harder than I was, because otherwise wheel slip was coming in again. So yeah, in wet weather this thing is hopeless. Anyway, more news. I have another route added to the routes that are available for request, as I had another route gifted to me, and this is really blowing me away, the people who are doing this. I say I never asked for it. I'd certainly never expect it. That's why I don't have things like Patreon and that set up, because to me, people who have those sorts of things set up are effectively saying they expect people to give them money. I do not expect it, not in the slightest. And I genuinely have no idea how to react, because to me, saying, thanks and whatever, it just does not seem like it's enough. So yeah, I have no idea how to react to anything like this. So I mean, I genuinely do really appreciate it, of course I do. And I hope it comes across that that is the case, but yeah, so I just don't know how to respond. But anyway, so this was Nicky Boom 75. It's the second route he's gifted me now. So I have the East Midlands Coal route DLC, which runs from Sherwood to High Marnham. It is absolutely freight only, so yeah, don't get any ideas of requesting passenger runs on that route. It's not going to happen. No, I've not yet had the chance to do any runs on it, so I can't tell you how easy or how difficult it is, but I can tell you that the we've got coming up here, old Class 101. But yeah, I can tell you the career scenarios, there are 7 of them, 4 of which have a difficulty rating of 5 out of 5. Yeah, okay. And the easiest one, and it is only one, has a rating of 3 out of 5. So yeah, the career scenarios in that one are going to be properly tough. It looks very much like that particular route is set in either the 70s or early 80s. Because the locos it uses class 20s, class 31s, class 37, and the most frequently used one is the Class 56. So lots of great locos if you are a fan of doing freight runs, and I do like doing freight runs unless they involve a lot of shunting. I'm not particularly good at freight runs, as I'm sure has become well established in my request videos by now, but yeah, it doesn't mean that I don't like doing them. So I have a few more questions as well, and it is quite the mixture, shall we say. So we're approaching 67.5 miles to Newcastle. I'm amazed that this 125 mph section has lasted as long as it has. I thought we would have, yeah, had to slow down by now. I'm not complaining one bit, but what have we got here? Well, we've got a 125 there, but that looks like it's in the slow lanes. What the fuck's it doing there? Well, this is quick drive. It's sometimes a bit difficult to try and explain the sort of decisions it comes up with. I mean, look at when I was trying to do that 12 car run in the Class 411 to was it to Woking. Should have been incredibly simple. The first time I did it, it couldn't even load the settings because it put me on a platform that meant I couldn't get to that part of the line to take me to Woking. So I mean, if it's going to make that kind of balls up, then yeah, there's no limit to the amount of balls ups that the quick drive can do. You know, to say nothing of the stuck red light that meant there was a train on the platform at Woking that I was supposed to stop at, and it did not move for the entire duration of the run. So of course by the time I got there, yeah, well, you can see the video and see what happened. Needless to say, it was farcical. Anyway, right, let's get on with these questions I've got then. So the first one, what is the ugliest train in the game or in real life? Well, in the game, thankfully we're not exactly overly like spoiled in terms of choices for ugliest train. The Class 42 is far from being a looker, but it's not the ugliest train, that's for sure. I think it's between the Class 460 and the Class 89. I think both of those trains are absolute pigs. They're both great to drive, or at least they are in the game. The 460 in real life is apparently one of the worst trains to have ever been built. But yeah, they look awful. So it's definitely between those two. You're sort of tossing a coin really between them. Now as far as in real life, well, again, it's between two. And they are both trains that I think are very unlikely to ever appear in Train Simulator Classic. Although, I mean, the Class 89 is in this game, and that was a one-off. Both of these were one-offs as well. The first is the Bullied Leader. I think it was built sometime in the late 30s. It might have been 1940s. If you look at it, you would straight away say, well, that's a diesel, early diesel. No, it was actually a steam train. But yeah, the cabs, it had the dual cabs, you know, at each end, and the boiler was right in the middle. It must have been like working in the very depths of hell, being the boiler man and the coal man on that train, because you were completely enclosed. As we have another 101 and another 43. But yeah, you were completely enclosed inside it, and oh, it must have been horrendous. But if you look at it, we've got here another 101. Getting plenty of these ones. Yeah, it does look like an early diesel, but it looks like the bodywork has shrunk in the wash. Which is entirely due to the fact that the two bogies are enormous. And yeah, they make it look awful. So that's one of those locos that performed every bit as badly as it looked. It was an absolutely horrendous piece of shit. And yeah, thankfully it didn't catch on. But yeah, you may want to take a look at that one. The other one, I can't remember the name of it now. I'm going to have to... I'll get back to the other one in the after... Yeah, in the next video, where, after we've made the Newcastle stop, because I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called the Valley Train, or something like that. But it looks like a class 37 or a class 40. You know, it has the extended you know, nose there, except the extended nose is enormous. There we have a good old 55, another good old Deltic. But yeah, the the extended nose part of the front and rear were enormous, because they contained an entire engine. That loco had, well, depending on how you measured it, it had between 47. It had between 4 and 6 engines fitted to it. It was an incredibly bloody rudimentary solution to a problem that, okay, yeah, the problem certainly existed, but I cannot believe that the solution implemented in that train was the best they could come up with. Well, clearly it wasn't, because yeah, they built the first one and never built it again, because maintenance of it was an absolute joke. So we have an ATMPH section coming up, and I suspect, okay, that is not going to be like a permanent state of affairs, but for quite some time now, 80 is going to be the max speed we will be doing. Let's just, there we go, we can put it into 55 and we're not getting wheel slip now. As it is, I think I'm going to have to like really brake hard here. The brakes on the old 220 really are nothing to write home about. So there you go, so we're in the right speed now, or at the right speed, and we're in the ATMPH zone. We approach Northallerton station. So yeah, I'll get back to that one with regards, yeah, to that particular train, but yeah, it was such a pig ugly looking thing. And rather like the bullied leader, it was, you know, its performance was as bad as its looks. So with its very staggered station or platforms, here is Northallerton station. So yeah, I am pretty sure it's now 80 mph or less for the rest of this route. Well, the rest of this route DLC, I should say. Anyway, right, next question. Did I ever consider any other transport simulators, alongside this one? The honest and short answer is no, but I suspect you probably want a bit more detail than that. The problem is with modern simulators in particular. When I started playing simulators, in the Commodore 64 and Amiga days, they got the balance absolutely perfect, or at least like the really good simulators got the balance absolutely perfect between the degree of realism and remembering that this is a game and you're supposed to be playing it to, enjoy yourself. So, when I would get like, the Microprose simulators for stuff like, was it F-117 Stealth Fighter and Gunship, F-15 Strike Eagle, Silent Service 2, the submarine simulator. Yeah, you felt like you were actually, in control of these, huge military machines, but it still had a lot of like actual gaming aspects to it. So they were very simplified compared to, an actual proper simulator. Nowadays, they seem to have completely forgotten all about that, and they are going all out for realism. Now, that's fine if you are one of these people who is wanting that from a simulator. Jim Plays has done several videos of Flight Simulator 2020, and I think he has got Flight Simulator 2024. I don't think he's a big fan of it. I think he prefers 2020, but nevertheless, I'm sure he has got that one. But yeah, you see the videos he's done of those, and yeah, he is all about getting the maximum amount of realism. Now, for me, if I was playing that game, I would find all that sort of stuff unbelievably tedious. And the way I look at it is, yes, okay, that's what it's like for a pilot of that aircraft, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. But the thing is, he's being paid to do all this. That's why he's there. You're not being paid to do this. You're supposed to be enjoying yourself. You're supposed to be playing a game. And the gaming aspect has just been completely forgotten about. So, if they do get any more realistic, then you're going to be at the stage where at the end of doing a flight you would expect a wage packet, and I just don't like that. I like to have the balance between simulator and gaming. So modern simulators just don't do that anymore. So, and to be really honest, I was even still thinking that when it came to me getting Train Simulator Classic. I mean, admittedly, that was a long time ago. I think I got it in about 2012. But I saw a few videos of it, and what I saw with things like the HUD here, it's like, okay, so there is a gaming element there. It's not gone all out for realism, so I thought, what the hell, I'll take the plunge. And clearly I'm glad I did. But there are so many other simulators out there, I just don't see that being applied. And so, yeah, just don't interest me. So it is extremely unlikely that I would ever get any other simulator. Right, the next question. If I could take any fantasy run in real life. Now, this one kind of threw me a bit. I mean, when you say fantasy, does that mean that this is a route that doesn't actually exist, but it's one that I could sort of come up myself? Or are we saying, you know, money no object, you can go on any train route you like, you know, and because if that's what you're saying, then straight away I know exactly what it is, the Trans-Siberian Railway. And I'd want to do the full length of it, so from St. Petersburg to Vladivostok. I'm not sure exactly how long it would take. I think it's is it something like a couple of weeks? But yeah, that is absolutely the one that I would want to do. And I do like these European sort of sleepers. I mean, obviously the Trans-Siberian is one. I mean, the train that is in the Bond film From Russia with Love, I mean, come on, is there anybody who has seen that film who hasn't thought, I'd love to be on that train? I mean, maybe not when Red Grant is there, but you know, certainly you'd want to take a trip on that one. I think it might actually be part of the original Orient Express, but yeah, that one would be fantastic. If we're talking about train journeys that are from films, I don't think I'm going to add the Cassandra Crossing to that list. That one, yeah, the height of luxury doesn't quite sort of like make up for the fact that it doesn't end very well. So yeah, I wouldn't have that one. I also don't fancy catching the bubonic plague. So yeah, we'll leave that one out of the list. But yeah, of all the yeah train journeys in the world, the one that I'd really want to do, yeah, is the Trans-Siberian. I also really fancy doing the Australian one. I can't remember the name of the actual route or the actual train, but it's the one that goes from Adelaide right up to Darwin. It's yeah, it looks fantastic. And the thing that really impressed me about it was when they stopped at Alice Springs. Now, so many people in England, in fact probably in Britain, when you mention Alice Springs, they still think it's some ramshackle bloody, you know, small township that's just made up of a few sheds. So when you see what Alice Springs actually does look like, it's like, fucking hell, that looks great. So yeah, I was very impressed with that one. So yeah, that's another one I'd really love to do. We've got another 43 here. Ah, and we have a trackside view. Unfortunately, we are going a lot slower than you know I would like us to be doing, but yeah, track speed limits is dictating that. If we're talking UK routes, then I'd love to do the Chieftain route, which is London to Inverness, or you know, Inverness to London. I would love to do the Night Riviera. Sorry, I'd love to do one of the sleeper runs in this country, just so I could say that I've done it. Everything I've seen about them suggests that, yeah, you're not in for the most luxurious night's sleep of your life. The cabins are very, very small. So, yeah, it's certainly nothing like the sort of, well, we must be on a downhill gradient. There we go. Yeah, it's certainly not going to rival, you know, the sort of cabins that you're seeing in, well, yeah, in From Russia with Love. So, yeah, if we're talking UK, then yeah, those would be the ones, but yeah, any in the world, Trans-Siberian. Some big old railway sheds here. I'm wondering if this is Darlington we're going through, or we're on the avoiding line, but it certainly looks like it. Lots of sidings, quite industrialised, and yeah, the big old sort of sheds there, I'm sure that was Darlington station we just gone by. We don't want to be speeding up because we've got a 70 mph section coming up here. So we're fine for this section. Yeah, into the 70 zone. Right, next question. Worst train buffet car experience. Well, this may sound a bit ridiculous, but it is absolutely true. I have never used a train buffet car. Well, firstly, on either of the Southend to London lines, yeah, there's never a buffet car on any of those trains because it's such a short journey. You know, on the London Tilbury Southend line, you're at Fenchurch Street in about 50 minutes, and on the Southend Victoria to Liverpool Street line, you're there, it's just over an hour. So yeah, there isn't any buffet cars on those trains because it's not needed. I mean, there must have been one on the two intercity or the three intercity journeys that I've done. So yeah, when I went from King's Cross to Leeds, then I went from Leeds to Birmingham, and then Birmingham back to Liverpool. But in all three cases, I think I only ever left my seat to use the lav. You know, I never, you know, again, never went anywhere near the buffet cars. So yeah, it does sound like a bit of a cop-out answer, but it is a genuine one. I've never actually had any kind of buffet experience on a train, good or bad. Well, we are going to be able to go up to 80 again fairly soon. Right, next question. Yeah, what were they thinking using Ringo Starr to narrate Thomas the Tank Engine? Yeah, what indeed? I don't know what sort of circumstances there could ever be that would result in someone saying, right, this new television program we're making, pass another 101, yeah, this new television program we're making, and it could be a television program of any kind, about any sort of subject, and aimed at any kind of audience you care to think of. And then someone pipes up and says, I know the perfect narrator for it, the drummer from the Beatles. I cannot see how that could ever take place. So I'll tell you one of my really big sort of like bugbears with Thomas the Tank Engine. I can't believe I'm sitting here saying that particular sentence, but nevertheless I have. I remember reading the Reverend W. Awdry books before that program ever appeared. There you go, there's proof that I'm from the Stone Age. Thomas the Tank Engine was only ever... Well, first of all, let's address the obvious thing. He's not a tank engine. You just have to look at him to see that. Right. So having got that one out of the way, yeah, he was only ever just like one of the characters from the Reverend W. Awdry, you know, books and that. And I say, as a kid, I loved those books. I thought they were fantastic. So why, when they made the television program, did they decide, right, we're going to centre it all on this one particular character? So yeah, I was never so keen on that. But it was clear that Reverend W. Awdry was obviously a major train buff, because he did get a lot of his railway facts absolutely spot on. Yeah, Thomas being a tank engine was not one of them. Well, I'm not sure he was ever actually described as Thomas the Tank Engine in the original stories. Don't quote me on that. It's been fucking decades since I last read one, but yeah, I think that might have been the case. I mean, I've no idea who would have been who would have made like the best narrator for that program. I mean, I suppose Reverend W. Awdry himself. I think he was still alive when they started making it. So, okay, next question. Yeah, what is the most hateful loco in the game? He's quite specific about this one. Hateful, so it's not so much, you know, what is the worst train in the game, because they could be two different things, and they are two different things. Because for me, the worst train in the game is the Class 303 prior to applying the freeware patch for it. That patch totally transforms it. It's much better after that. But before it, yeah, it's the worst. But the most hateful has to be the DTG Class 91. Because it's a train that should be fantastic. Another 101. That's quite a long one, that one. Yeah, so... yeah, the 91 should be fantastic, and Dovetail Games made such a dismal effort with it. And, you know, and so many aspects of it they just got completely wrong. In fact, a lot of the time it just looks like they didn't put any effort into it at all. But the worst thing about it by far is that by choice they gave it the original DVD system. That DVD system is where, yeah, the alarm goes off every minute regardless of control inputs from the driver. It will still go off every 60 seconds. And it was hated by the drivers of the real thing, to the extent that they genuinely refused to drive them. They wouldn't do it. So if it was so hated that, you know, guys who were being paid to drive the thing would refuse to do so. Why the fuck would they then say, right, let's put that in the game? You know, it's yeah, okay, yes, it's a simulator, but we're supposed to enjoy it. It's not supposed to be so annoying. You know, a feature so annoying that people who are paid to drive the things refuse to do so. We're paying them for the DLC, which then has this feature that means we won't want anything to do with it. Yeah. But someone at Dovetail Games not only thought, yeah, we've definitely got to include that, but someone else came along and signed it off saying, yeah, that's great, yeah, release it. So yeah, the Dovetail Games Class 91 is by far the most hateful in the game. I don't like being in the position where I say you've got to get the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement, but when it comes to the Class 91, yeah, you do. You have to get that because it's unbearable and undrivable without it. So Newcastle is 22.5 miles away. And I've got through all of my questions a bit quicker than I thought I would. Oh, there is a sort of unofficial accompanying well, actually I don't know if the video will ever actually happen, but Northlander, who used to you know, send several requests my way, he is in the process of yeah, covering this same journey as me, but in a light aircraft in MS Flight Simulator 2024. So yeah, if a video of that should come, you know, should come along, say there's no guarantee it will. If it does, I'll bung a link to it, probably in the last video. Okay, so got another speed decrease coming up. It's a fairly hefty one, down to 65. So we're fine for that, but again that was showing how bad these brakes are. And the rate of braking that I was applying there, we should have reached 65 mph, you know, slowing down to 65 long before we actually did. Well, thankfully this is a fairly short section. We can go back up to 85 in just over a mile. But this is the thing with this part of the East Coast Main Line, because the speeds are so slow. Because by East Coast Main Line standards this is quite a twisty part of the entire route. Doesn't really need electrification, I suppose. Although, yeah, well, yeah, so having said that, I would really like to be able to do this route from start to finish in an electric loco. I'd like to take the AP 91 and do this route. So back into 85 zone. Let's get some more speed. This looks like a fairly high, yep, a viaduct we're on. Not for long, we were. Coming up here, there's another deltic. Quite a short deltic, that one. But, so always good to see it. Any throttle setting other than coasting and we're gaining speed. So Newcastle is just over 15 miles away. Let's hope that we can actually stop there this time. As I say, the fact that we don't have any rain at the moment certainly helps. Oh, we have another speed reduction coming up down to 65. It's a mile and a half away, so we haven't got to react straight away. God, there's some serious bumps on these routes. I'm not sure that most trains would actually notice them quite as badly as this. This one, it really does get sort of thrown about all over the place. A lot of other trains seem to be able to absorb it. Another 101. This looks like Durham, yep, Durham Cathedral. It is presumably Durham Station. Now, I have a feeling that, okay, I was just about to say, I have a feeling the 65 mph section, which we are about to enter, is the top speed for the rest of the run. And then this 125 comes along. Well, it'd be great if we can do 125 for the last bit towards Newcastle. I don't know how long it's going to actually go on for, but we'll certainly try and take full advantage of it. You guessed it, another 101. Well, you can tell from how straight this is, yeah, definitely where the 125 zone starts. We're now entering it. And let's go. So yeah, no track size used, but yeah, train always looks great when it's absolutely powering along, especially with that sound. The engine sounds great at full revs. Not as good as the Valenta, of course, but it does still sound great. Also, just realised I've not done my radio test yet.
Welcome to the remote radio test unit. Please leave your message after the test.
This is an NRN radio test call.
This is an NRN radio test call.
Good old 37. So we are approaching Chester Street. Quite a small station. I thought Chester Street was a fairly major town, but it would appear not. Oh, here we go. So, slowing down to 55. Let's see if these brakes can do it in the dry. I know we are still a long way away from that 55 zone, but my experience with the brakes on this thing tells me I've got to brake very early indeed. Quite the contrast. You have a lot of open countryside on the left and very industrialised on the right. So yeah, we made it for the 55 zone. Still had to brake pretty hard and for quite a long time. There we are, so we're in the 55 zone now. So yeah, we have all the sounds coming from all the various factories and that around here. And yeah, on this side, completely open. I don't know if any of this is still considered Chester Street. And if it is, have we got the cricket ground at any point? This is all, yeah, sidings and that. Plenty of them. So this is going to be a pretty major freight yard around here. There's one way to find out where we are. So, Tyne Yard, so that's where we are passing. Yeah, huge amount there, and they're all empty. I somehow doubt they would be as empty as this in real life. So, further speed reduction coming up in a mile and a half down to 20. That will be the final approach to Newcastle. In fact, Newcastle itself is going to start appearing on the route display very soon indeed. So here's some church bells there, obviously coming from that one. I suspect that's probably the last Class 101 we'll be seeing. Newcastle is indeed now appearing on the route display. Newcastle platform 8, which is yeah, that is where we are stopping. So that flashing yellow there was not for us. speed braking a bit harder. There we go, right, we're alright now. So yep, we are now in the 20 zone. Million and one points all over the place. So we're about to cross the Tyne, the million and one bridges. Most of which we can all see here. There is another one that's right, well, yeah, right there. But these are all the more well-known ones. I need to start braking again for a 15 mph zone, which is, yeah, we're fine for. So a single yellow, which is, yep, just as we would expect as we enter the 15 mph zone. That 125 looks like it's completely stopped, but it could be this waiting for us. And the Deltic's just next to us there as we pull in. Bring our speed down to 10, that way APWS can't be triggered. But we're now in the fully in the station, so we can stop pretty much anywhere. There we are. Doors are opening. So there we go. Our next stop, our last stop in England. Here we are at Newcastle.